First story. Mind Over Matter, a bedtime story about conquering your fears. Deep in the heart of a sleepy jungle, there lives a brave woman named Elora. She's small in stature, but large in courage. Her boldness defies the wild and fills her with a sense of confidence that even the loudest of animals fear. No matter what dangers threatened her, Elora never backed down. She believed in her ability to bravely overcome the impossible and knew the power of mind over matter. One day, Elora was walking through the jungle when she felt a strange sensation creeping over her body. It was like something was trying to possess her, though whatever it was remained unseen. Fearing for her life, Elora decided to flee and sought refuge in another part of the jungle. The feeling followed her, and soon it began to take control of Elora's every thought and action. Frightened, she pressed on and eventually made it to a clearing in the jungle where a large tree stood tall. There Elora found safety and saw an opportunity to regain control. She mustered every ounce of strength within her and fought off the unseen force that had taken hold of her. With each breath, Elora's will grew stronger and calmer until finally, she felt blissful enlightenment. It was then Elora understood why she had been chosen. After all, it was her unwavering persistence and courage that had enabled her to conquer her fears and regain control over her own destiny. From then on, Elora lived life to its fullest and made sure to remain humble despite her newfound power. Whether Elora faced danger or faced uncertainty in life, she no longer feared it. Mind over matter, she would say. For Elora had learned a lesson of courage from the depths of the jungle, and now nothing could stop her from achieving all that she desired. Next story. A Magical Tale of Bedtime. Once upon a time, there lived an elderly couple who were looking for peace and quiet from their ever-increasing number of grandchildren. Despite the occasional visits from their grandchildren, the silence was deafening and the couple yearned for something more. On the night of their 10th wedding anniversary, all seemed to have been forgotten as they laid in bed. That all changed, however, when a glimmer of light shone through the curtains, signaling for them to follow. It was a fairy godmother of sorts, but this one was slightly different. Rather than granting wishes, she took the couple on an epic journey. They arrived at an ancient library, full of marvels beyond their wildest imagination. The walls were lined with books of all shapes and sizes, and each one they opened revealed a story within. The couple realized that these were bedtime stories, but ones unlike anything they had ever heard before. Each specific book described different adventures and fantastical experiences, ranging from underwater portals to acquiring magical abilities and abilities to converse with animals. One particular story even described how a young girl had discovered a secret treasure hidden inside an old tree. The couple spent all night exploring the infinite possibilities each story provided, discovering new characters and plot lines as they went along. They were lost in a magical world of exploration, never wanting the night to end. Finally, the sun began to rise and the fairy godmother took them back home, taking with them memories that would last a lifetime. From that day forward, the couple put their grandchildren to bed every night by reading bedtime stories from the Enchanted Library. The peace and quiet was no longer needed as family laughter filled their home and their bellies each night as new stories were explored. Next story. Once Upon a Bedtime Story. Once upon a time, in a sleepy corner of the world, there lived an extraordinary group of people who had a special way of looking at the world. To them, even the most mundane events were full of opportunity and possibility. Each night, as the sun set and the stars shone, they gathered in their homes and used the magic of their imaginations to create an entirely new bedtime story. The nightly ritual began when one of them wrote down a simple sentence on an old, yellowing parchment, a sentence that would form the spine of the story to come. As they developed their story together, they focused on creating something never before told. Details they never considered were revealed as they weaved together a tale of adventure, mystery, and enchantment. The characters in their stories were often unexpected, wizened old women who had lessons to teach, mischievous tricksters who brought much-needed humor, scaredy cats who overcame their fears, and heroic figures who displayed courage in the face of danger. Whatever sort of characters their minds settled on, the common thread was always one of hope, that anything is possible if you just have enough faith. These people changed the world from night to night, with stories that almost felt like reality, as though these events could actually happen at any moment in time. They populated their tales with a fantastic bestiary of creatures from near and far, and never ceased to amaze each other with their passion for the art of storytelling. Their bedtime tales were certainly something special, brimming with life and vibrancy. Why not join them on one of their nightly adventures? There's no telling where the story might take you. Next story. The Unexpected Bedtime Adventure. It was the night before Jenny's birthday, and she was already tucked up in bed, eagerly awaiting the morning to arrive. But little did she know what kind of adventure she was about to embark upon. For suddenly, she heard a strange noise coming from outside her window. It sounded like a creaking and whirring of some mysterious machine. Jenny stepped out of bed and curiously made her way to the window, peeking out cautiously. She gasped when she saw the strange contraption hovering in the air, with a bright light beaming from below. It wasn't just a UFO, it was a time machine. Excitement bubbling inside her, Jenny opened her window and a thin ladder suddenly unfurled from the side of the machine. Taking a deep breath, she bravely climbed up the ladder, reaching the door at the top. Peeking through the window, she saw a strange being inside, Warble the Time Wizard. He welcomed her warmly, explaining that he had come to take her on a journey back in time to before the birth of mankind. With a twinkle in his eye and a mysterious smile, he allowed Jenny to climb inside. Immediately, the time machine began to vibrate and Jenny felt herself be pulled backwards as they soared through time and space. As they ventured forward, they visited different places and times, sometimes stopping to explore unknown lands or marvel at incredible inventions. Jenny had never seen anything like it. They drifted past deserts, mountains, seas, and snowy tundras as Warble approached their last stop, the prehistoric era. Jenny was amazed by the sights she saw. Dinosaur bones littered the ground and huge trees reached up high into the sky. But then, suddenly, everything started to shake and roar as an enormous T-Rex appeared from around the corner. Jenny screamed as Warble hastily steered the time machine away from the carnivore. With one last spin of his wand, Jenny was zapped back to her bedroom just moments after she had left. Warble quickly vanished, leaving Jenny sitting in bed completely stunned by her experience. However, when she awoke in the morning on her birthday, Jenny could feel something different inside her, a spark of courage and adventure that would go with her wherever she may go. Next story. A Siren's Tale. Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful siren in the depths of the sea. Every night she would sing her soothing song, lulling sailors who were passing by into a deep sleep. On one fateful night, she stumbled upon a crew who refused to succumb to her sweet melody. Refusing to be ignored, the siren transformed into beautiful form, rising from the depths of the sea to captivate their hearts. The men were entranced by her beauty and marveled at her grace. She spun a web of stories and enticed them with her passionate tales. Even the bravest man could not resist the siren's charm. As the evening wore on, the siren became more and more daring. She tempted the men with promises of wild adventures, glorious rewards, and countless pleasures. The crew could not believe what they were hearing and so moved closer to her with each enchantment. But then something unexpected happened. One of the men was brave enough to raise his voice against the alluring temptations. He told his comrades that these promises were nothing but lies, that the siren was merely a creature of the sea who tricked them into submission. In the face of such truth, the other men found the courage to deny the siren's power. The angered creature saw no other recourse than to retreat, diving deep into the depths of the sea. She left behind only her beautiful song, which still echoes throughout the depths of the night to this day, reminding us all of the power of determination and courage. Next story. The Haunting of the Blanket. Once upon a time, there was a family who lived in a small rural town surrounded by a vast forest. One night, the family heard strange noises from the forest, like cries and howls. Alarmed, they decided to investigate further and ventured deep into the forest. The family eventually came upon an eerie clearing with a single blanket in its center. It was becoming dark, so naturally the family decided to stay for the night and sleep on the blanket. Little did they know that the blanket had a dark history and a hidden power. The blanket had once belonged to an ancient witch who used it to conjure dark spells and bind malicious spirits to its threads. She had eventually been vanquished, and it appeared that the blanket had been awaiting another victim. That night, in their sleep, the family was attacked by the spirits that were bound to the blanket. Suddenly, they all awoke to find themselves in another world, one where the blanket had complete control. Everywhere they looked there were signs of danger and gloom, and everywhere they heard the wails of despair coming from the haunted blanket. The frightful family tried to escape, but they soon realized they were being taunted and chased by the evil blanket. Everywhere they went, it seemed to be following after them. In a desperate attempt to break free, they scurried through the woods until they found a mysterious old hut deep in the forest. Hoping for refuge, the family stepped inside and quickly discovered that this was no ordinary hut, it was a mysterious hermit's abode. The hermit, however, was nowhere to be found, and what little the family could find pointed to his having left the area long ago. Undaunted, the family searched the hut for anything helpful and eventually found a box containing an ancient book with instructions on how to break the curse of the haunted blanket. Following the instructions, they were able to safely escape back to their home unscathed. The family vowed never to venture back into the forest or lay their eyes on that cursed blanket ever again. As for the blanket, some say it is still out there somewhere, still waiting to haunt any unfortunate souls who come across it. Next story. A Midnight's Journey. The night is dark and silent as the two adults make their way to the castle ruins on the edge of town. They're seeking something special, something that only exists in the forgotten corners of the world. As they pass through the creaking gate, they enter a realm full of mystery and wonderment. Strange sounds echo through the darkness, like stories that have been waiting to be told. The adults venture deeper into the ruins, drawn by a magnetic pull they can't explain. Suddenly, a gust of wind brushes against their faces, lifting their spirits and revealing an unexpected path ahead. They travel through winding passages and up into towers until they discover a huge room at the top of the castle. The tapestries are delicate and worn, but still beautiful. The walls are covered in ancient symbols that ripple in the dim light coming from flickering candles. At the center of the room is an old wooden desk, a place where memories and stories can come alive. On it is a book called A Midnight's Journey, written by an unknown author. The adults flip through its pages and learn about the kingdom that once existed within these ruins. They explore the dreams and secrets of its citizens, immersed in a world of magic, love, and tragedy. It's late when they reach the end of the book, but the clock has no meaning in this forgotten place. They close its pages and leave, taking with them a piece of the kingdom to keep in their hearts forever.